What's going on? So how y'all doing out there? This is gonna be about Gilbert Arenas. Now, yes, I call him the Kanye West of NBA players who says crazy stuff, and I don't agree with most of what he says. However, I do gotta kind of think about from the foreign players. Now, he called Jokic the most overrated MVP ever. And he said that if the European players went away, they could bring back defense or something to the NBA. So I disagree with all that logic. However, the foreign exchange overdrive to manipulate the NBA, he ain't off on that. If he correlated and tied it to David Stern and Adam Silver, if he put those two and said that there was an agenda, because you do gotta kind of wonder, and I do have an issue with it, why the need to push more foreign players and what is the purpose of the exact inclusion? You know, I did think it was strange 20 years ago with Yao Ming coming in. I mean, Yao had a good career. He was supposed to be a foil against a Shaquille O'Neal. Did he really have a Hall of Fame career? Was he really that memorable? That's debatable. And they've had other Asian based players, and I'm not picking on one thing or the other. If you're talented and you're great, I'm gonna give you that. I still say that if Arvidas Sabonis had to play in the NBA when he was younger, Portland probably wins a ring or two, and he was a great talent. Petrovic, who passed away, played with the Nets, no argument. Tony Parker, Ginobili, no argument. Tim Duncan, no argument. Dirk Nowitzki, Olajuwon. Oh, Joel Embiid, no argument, even though Joel Embiid be kind of underachieving. Luca, they got him calling him Baby Larry Bird. We'll see what all that turns out. Peja Starkovich, no argument. The guys that proved it, obviously Jokic, if you proved it. However, the agenda to push it, and from a work perspective and a business perspective, I do question what their agenda is. Now, I said this as a joke, but it turned out to be truth. I said the original Dream Team was the best and worst thing that happened to American basketball. On one hand, it showed how superior and dominant and the talent was at its apex. The downside of it, though, was that it's like Stern took a sympathy victim and he said, oh, we need to bring them over. And so slowly and methodically, they brought that European style to the NBA. And slowly and methodically, they started to scale back from using American born players, and that have pushed an agenda. So they couldn't get the American white players, so they got guys from overseas. I do think that it backfired in spots because a guy like Steph Curry turned out to be the greatest shooter when they was pushing that agenda. He had to be black born. James Harden happened to be a better Euro stepper and do what they did. He had to be black born. The agenda was not for black players to thrive. I do think there is some truth to that. If Gilbert Arenas had concocted ideas and went into a direction of conspiracy theories and questioned Adam Silver and David Stern's agenda, I would say, okay, he don't sound like he's Kanye drugged out and saying, and he didn't really flesh it out. I'm fleshing out what I think though, because I have been questioning the agenda with now David Stern. There was a love thing, rest in peace, but I had issue with him. But he was the guy who showed that you could sell black players to white America. He teamed it up in the cop buddy cop with Magic and Larry Bird, but then he made Michael Jordan. He blew him up. He pushed that agenda. You could sell a black figure as the face of the NBA, even though he didn't do it to Isaiah Thomas. And he really didn't do it to Akeem Olajuwon because he pushed Shaq. Just saying what I remember. Not everybody black that was successful in the NBA had the endorsement. There was agendas. Kobe was an interesting figure because he came from overseas and he spoke the languages and he fit in the modernization. But then after everything happened in Colorado, etc., they downplayed it. But they kept him as the face until LeBron emerged. And Dwayne Wade was there in between. Though Nash got MVPs and Dirk was great, they can't argue those factors. But once we got past Steph Curry, you've seen the agenda. Past Steph, past LeBron. They give a strong tokenism for just Jason Tatum. That's what they hope. But you see what the agenda is. And eventually it's going to impact brothers playing basketball. Just saying. So if Gilbert had approached that with his foreign take, I may have thought he was on to something. He did not approach that. But I'm thinking I've had issue with David Stern and Adam Silver, especially Adam Silver, what I see with the NBA is heading. And it's not headed into good territory. It's definitely something that's some funny business going. Because it looks like WWF and they're pushing agenda. Definitely black players are going to be the ones that take the hit. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit if you like my piece.